was. Come in.
Is David here?
Oh, Mr. Gray doesn't get in this early.
He will today. Yes, we have an appointment with him.
In that case, why don't you wait in the back room? I'm sure he'd approve.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Hester.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Gray. Your business associates just arrived.
Oh?
I hope it's all right. I told them to wait in the back room.
That's fine, Hester. In fact, as of now, everything is proceeding according to plan.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
I'm not complaining, but isn't it cold in here?
Cold. It's bloody freezing. The heat went off sometime during the night.
Well, can't Luke fix it?
I realize that your faith in Luke is limitless, but the boiler in this barge defeats even him.
Well, where is he? Trying to fix it?
My best guess is frozen to his bed.
Well, I hope he knows that we've got to get going. As a matter of fact, where's Tiffany?
I just spoke to her. She's on her way. But look, if it makes you feel any better, Luke's in the shower.
Well, I hope he realizes that we've got to get to the store before it opens.
He does, and he'll be up any minute.
And if Tiffany doesn't make it, the three of us are just going to have to leave without her.
Well, look, if it comes to that, fine. But look, this arrangement hardly needs split-second timing, love. We could be at this store all day, and she may not show up.
You're wrong, Robert. She's going to be there. She has to be.
Mel, what if something goes wrong?
Laura, now you know better than to ask a question like that. When David plans something, nothing goes wrong. He is not only precise, but his timing is flawless.
I wish I could be there to see it work. I mean, this ad in the paper makes the sale look fabulous. Could I go, Mel?
Of course you can't go there. Now, David has not included you in today's little project, and that is that.
Well, I just want to go see and watch. Well, when do you turn the machine on?
Just before it's needed. Oh, darling, this is going to work beautifully. Even the sun is cooperating.
The sun?
Oh, yeah. By 10:30, it will be exactly in the right position.
And that's important?
Well, I'll admit today is only a trial run, but every element is important, including the sun.
Well, I certainly hope it works.
Laura, it's going to work. Now, look, the scientific principle is very sound. Now, if today's trial run goes off without a hitch, that means that the big one will work also. And I hardly need to remind you, my dear, that the big one is going to be the biggest caper of the century.
This, of course, is only a child's toy with no value whatsoever. But at 10:30 in the store, what you'll see is a tiger made of ivory with priceless jewels for eyes. Now, about your technique.
Of course. You'll notice my gloves. Not only do they enable me to grasp the tiger firmly, they are useful in my sleight of hand. Shall I demonstrate with the toy?
That won't be necessary. You wouldn't be here if I weren't sure you know your craft. But a few final words.
Of course.
Timing is of the essence. You're to take the tiger at precisely 10:30. Once you have it, wait for nothing. Don't look right and left. Don't look back. Just take the tiger and go.
May I ask a question?
You may, but I think I've anticipated it. No one will notice you take the tiger.
But, Mr. Gray, one moment it's in plain sight, and a fraction of a second later, it's gone. What makes you think no one will notice?
Because at exactly 10:30, something will happen to divert attention.
You mean a fire, for example?
I'm sure you mean well, Felix, but you insult my intelligence. What will divert attention is the result of sheer genius. Trust me.
I must admit I'm fascinated. How's it done?
In due time, Mr. Niven. All in due time. At the moment, let me emphasize timing again. At exactly 10:30, you're to take the tiger, not a second before. If you find you have to wait until precisely 10:30, that's why Felix will be near you. He can help you stall until the right moment.
I strike up a casual conversation.
Only if Mr. Niven needs the added time.
I'd still like to know about the diversion.
And you will. We'll meet back here, and I promise you, you'll be astonished.
Excuse me, Mr. Gray. You asked for coffee at 9:30.
I did, and I thank you, Hester. Gentlemen, help yourselves. I'll return in a moment.
May I help you?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What on earth is taking him so long? I thought you just said he was in the shower.
Luke likes to shower very thoroughly and has been known to render the entire second act of Carmen while he's doing it.
Doesn't he know we're on a tight schedule?
Sure he does. But he also realizes that the boiler needs his very personal and delicate touch. Now, if you listen carefully, you'll hear the sounds of utter frustration emanating from below decks.
The sounds of what?
Luke giving the boiler a good kick in the slats. And you know what? On occasion, it has been known to work. One well-directed kick and voila, we have heat.
Robert, I know you're trying to be amusing, but what we're going to do today is very serious. We could catch my sister.
Yes, and I'm sorry to say that we may not catch your sister. We all know what happened at the antique store. We expected her to show up then, and she didn't.
There's a very good explanation for that. I mean, the ad didn't come out until the day before. She could have very easily missed it.
What if she hasn't seen this ad?
Robert, why are you trying to throw cold water on this?
Look, love, I'm not. I'm trying to be realistic. For your sake, more than anything.
Why do you say that?
The answer to that is rather complex.
Try me.
Look, can we leave it at the fact that, I care?
Well, that's not so complicated. I know you care about my sister. You've proved that.
Why, I don't really know. But it's obvious you need to find her. And I hope you do.
How can you possibly say that you don't know why I'm trying to find her?
Several reasons. For one, we know she's in no danger, at least none that's apparent to us. Secondly, she may not even want to find you.
If you knew my sister like I did, you wouldn't be saying that.
Look, I know you're fond of her. You've told me that before, and much more.
I know, Robert, that sometimes I can get a little carried away when I talk about my past and go a little crazy with my stories. Make them a little more dramatic.
I remember.
But I am very fond of my sister. And the truth is much deeper than that. When we were growing up in White Plains, we were brought up by my grandmother. My mother died when we were very young. Well, as far as my father goes, he commuted into Manhattan. He didn't really have much time for us.
Well, was that such an intolerable way of life?
Well, no, not for me. I was his favorite. So any time that he could spend with us, it was with me. He gave me all the attention.
You're trying to say that your sister lent on you?
Pauline isn't exactly the right word. There's not really a big difference in our ages. But I was always kind of more than a big sister. I was, in many ways, like her mother.
Do you resent that?
No, not at all. I've just always been there when she's needed me. Robert, that's why I know she needs me now.
Look, I want to find her as much as you do. But this scheme may not work today. As I've already said, she may not have seen the ad in the paper.
I tell you, she will. In the first place, the ad is irresistible. But more than that point, I know my sister. And an ivory tiger with emerald eyes is something she won't miss.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. My sister is going to go into this jewelry store, and it's a very small establishment, And once she gets there, we've got her. We're not going to let her go.
Ah, good morning, darlings. Well, my goodness, it's colder in here than it is outside, isn't it?
My associates and I will be leaving in a moment, Hester. They're enjoying your coffee.
Well, it's a pleasure making it, Mr. Gray. Well, as I told you when you hired me, whatever I can do to please you, you need only tell me.
That's very reassuring.
Excuse me. Excuse me?
Sir. I think it's time to get on with it.
We're ready, Mr. Gray.
Good. Now, when we leave here, you two go directly to the store. It won't be open until a few moments after you get there, but undoubtedly, there'll be people milling about in front. Join them. When they open the doors, go directly inside. Clear?
Perfectly.
Now, I have another appointment. Part of the technical aspect of the project will be accomplished near the store, but not on the premises.
Now, I'm even more intrigued.
I'll go from here and check on the technical function and then meet you inside the store just before 10:30. Again. Clear?
Very.
When I arrive, you might glance in my direction, and I'll indicate whether everything is proceeding according to plan. A barely perceptible nod of the head, let's say.
A nod of the head.
Right. And then you wait until 10:30. Any last questions? Now's the time to ask them. Felix?
No questions.
Mr. Niven?
You have made yourself perfectly clear, Mr. Gray.
Thank you. Gentlemen, after you. I'll see you in a moment. Hester, I hope I haven't confused you. My associates and I sometimes play little games. It's quite harmless, I assure you.
I think I know what you're up to, Mr. Gray.
Do you indeed? What?
I've worked for antique dealers before, you know. I think there's an auction, and you're determined to be the high bidder. Am I right?
That's very astute of you, Hester. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
As a matter of fact, I've been favorably impressed with you since the first day I hired you, and with your attitude in particular.
My attitude?
You don't ask questions. Tell me, are you a native of Port Charles?
Oh, no, I moved here from the Midwest to take care of an aunt. Well, quite recently, in fact.
I see. And you lived with your aunt?
Until she died.
May I assume you're not very well known here in Port Charles?
The truth is, Mr. Gray, I hardly know anyone. I was about to go back to Milwaukee when you engaged me.
Interesting.
Sir,
Yes?
this is the first time you've ever, well, ever inquired about my personal life. May I ask why?
You may, and I'll answer you. As I believe I mentioned in the beginning, I'm interested in other things than antiques, and I ask only that my employees refrain from inquiring into them.
I never ask questions, Mr. Gray. I mind my own business.
Indeed you do, which is precisely why I value you, and could value you even more in the future. Oh, after I leave,
Yes, Mr. Gray.
lock the door behind me.
We're not open for business.
Not until after I return. And again, Hester, you're very astute. I'll bear that in mind.
Laura, would you try not to be quite so nervous? It really doesn't help matters.
I can't help it, Mel. What if this lens doesn't work properly? David will probably come in and shoot both of us.
Well, in the first place, the lens is going to work perfectly. I haven't devoted years of my life developing it to have it go wrong now.
You sound so sure.
Because I am sure. If I weren't, I wouldn't have told David that the lens is ready and risk a trial run.
Yeah, but Mel, you've worked so hard. I don't think I could stand it if it didn't work.
Laura, look, I know I have worked very hard. and everything is going to work. Do you realize that this lens that I have developed is unique? I mean, we could sell it on the legitimate market. With patents and royalties, we would have enough money to last us for the rest of our lives.
Well, then why didn't we just do that?
Evelyn, this is why I love you so much. A very simple question which deserves a very simple answer.
Yeah.
All right. I chose to use this lens in David's little project because it is going to bring us untold fortunes.
By just using it once?
Just once. Darling, you still don't really understand the total picture here, do you?
No. All I know is that this is a test for the big one.
No, that's right. But do me a favor, when David gets here, try not to mention the big one, okay?
Well, why not? He's the one who's running all this, isn't he?
Of course he is. But one thing you have to understand about David is the way that the man operates.
I don't understand him at all. And Mel, I don't like his eyes. They give me the eeriest feeling.
Darling, I know that. But one thing that you have to remember is that David has a very definite theory about how to pull off this caper, and he is gonna stick to it.
A theory?
Yeah, here, sit down. Okay, now, the theory is, well, it's really kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, okay? I mean, there are a lot of strange pieces floating around. But only when you take the pieces and put them in the right place can you see the whole picture.
I still don't understand.
All right, let me try another tack. All right, David's idea is you got to hire somebody to do a special job, okay? Like me. My special job is to design the lens system.
I know
All
that.
right, now, bear with me, bear with me. All right. Now, the point is that nobody knows really where their particular job fits in. I mean, right now, I couldn't tell you whether David has 10 guys working on this project or 100. Only David can see the entire puzzle and where all of the pieces fit together.
Oh, I see. So you're working on faith. Mel, I can understand that better than you think.
Oh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a typical example of it. Don't you see? Here I am in Port Charles, a place I'd never even heard of before not long ago. And here I am, and I'm staying here for one reason.
What reason, babe?
Don't you know?
Tell me.
Because I love you, Mel.
I did know. I just like hearing you say it, that's all. Laura,
Yes?
I promise you, you're never going to be sorry.
I know that. And even if David takes forever to do his project, that's fine. Because all I care about is that we're together.
It won't take that long. And it's a lot more than just a big deal.
Oh? Well, then what is it?
Darling, this is the big casino. The caper of the century. I told you David's sense of timing is perfect. Let him in, will you, honey?
Who is it?
Laura.
Now, David, good morning.
Good morning. As I'm sure you've observed, it's a bright, sunny day.
We couldn't have asked for better conditions.
And I may assume you're quite ready?
Oh, completely. Would you care to take a look?
In a moment. The other part of the plan, let's say the human element, was very impressive.
I mean, they're at the store already?
They should be there in approximately 5 minutes. The gentleman I selected to actually take the tiger was most adept.
David, how much does he know?
Well, I'm surprised. What a naive question. From the very beginning, I've emphasized, when you have many people working on an operation, the true margin of safety lies in never letting one person know what the other is doing. Or for that matter, that others even exist.
I don't understand.
No need you, Laura. What I'm reiterating is, in a complex undertaking such as this, each individual has one job to do. It is essential that he never realize how his one job relates to the whole. I believe our 2 colleagues should be arriving at the store in any moment.
Well, the crowd's grown considerably since you arrived.
Good. Now, I'll remain here with you until just before 10:30. And then I'll cross over to the store and watch our plan in full operation. Have you checked all the equipment?
At least 10 times. No problems.
I didn't expect any. Now, if I may just inspect that angle.
Notice the way the sun is hitting the store. It's perfect.
Perfection is something I've been waiting for a very long time. And now at last the test is here.
Hey, that's quite a crowd waiting outside.
Yeah, and on a cold day like this, too. Well, I guess that's what they mean by the power of advertising, huh?
Well, featuring that tiger in the ad is really pulling them in, of course, but let's hope we sell a great many of the other things as well. It's almost time to open. Jim, would you get the tiger out of the safe? I've already unlocked it.
Okay, right away. Pete, would you get the velvet pad?
Sure, it's right over here. Here you go.
Oh, thanks. There it is. Let me take the base first. That's it. There. Oh, that should be perfect. Oh, Lord. It really is magnificent.
Hey, Pete, how many beers do you think a thing like that would buy, huh?
I'd buy a lot.
If you two could give up your vulgarity for a moment. I want to warn you, those eyes are two of the finest emeralds in the world. So stay alert.
Oh, don't worry. Look, nobody's going to touch it, huh?
No, on the contrary. I'm sure most of the customers will touch it. Collectors especially. There's a distinct thrill they get just from feeling the patina. So, be courteous. But don't take your eyes off that animal. Very few people have ever seen anything quite like him before.
It really pains me to admit this, but every now and again Spencer displays a real touch of genius. A proper James Watt.
A real who, Robert?
James Watt, he invented the steam engine.
Really? How clever of you to know something like that, darling. I only concern myself with more feminine aspects of living.
Well, basically, I could care less if Luke invented bubblegum. Doesn't he know we're waiting for him? As a matter of fact, we should be getting going right now.
Look, I reminded him of that. He said a few minutes to wipe the grease off his face and he'll be up on the dock.
Oh, grease paint. Is he rehearsing something, maybe?
No, sweetheart. He's just fixed the boiler. Well, temporarily, anyway.
Well, we should get started then, because the store opens at 10, and it'll take us a few minutes to get there.
May I make a suggestion?
Is it something feminine?
As I recall the plan, I'm to stand in the alley and watch for your sister.
Right, and Robert will be in front of the store, and I'll be on the inside.
Well, actually, darling, I think I would do a much better job on the inside than you would. So why don't you stand on the outside and I'll be inside?
What's the point?
Well, obviously, darling, I'm much more at home inside a jewelry store than you are. Why, I've been practically raised in them all my life.
I've said it often.
Oh, so I'm sure. Actually, my mother, sweet, dear, sweet mother, named me after one of the more famous jewelry stores.
The Hillbilly branch.
Oh, you flatter me, darling. No, I really am being serious.
Well, if you are serious, then there's one basic flaw in your suggestion.
And what is that?
Well, you don't know what my sister looks like, so if you were inside the store, you wouldn't recognize her.
Now, there's a point for you, Tiffany. Why, of course, not that I don't understand why you're not enthusiastic about standing in an alley.
It's a cold alley, Robert. It's freezing outside.
Well, it's freezing in here.
Yeah, well, look, that's been fixed, but I'm sorry. Cold or no, you're stuck with a little bracing air.
How much brazing? We don't even know if your sister's going to show or not.
Don't worry, Laura will be there. An ivory tiger with emerald eyes. Nothing could keep her away.
We hope.
We can do more than hope. Don't you understand? I've got to find my sister.
Look, I understand that, and believe me, nobody wants to sort this out more than I do. So let's all be optimistic about this little venture. Yes, we're going to the store, and yes, we're going to find your sister, right?
Right.
Okay, let's move out, troops.
Let's go.
Oh, excuse me. Now, we'll go up front and open the doors in a moment. Jim, would you turn on the spotlight that we had set up?
Oh, sure. No problem. I tested it when I came in.
Oh, perfect. Now, Pete, will you stand over here the way we planned?
Sure.
And Jim, you'll take up your position right over there. Now, remember, everyone, they're coming to see the tiger, but it's our job to sell them everything we can. Now, there'll be crowds in here today, so if you feel yourself losing your temper, just smile. And remember those commissions. All right, everyone. It's going to be a glorious day. Come on, Jim.
Get things rolling? Okay, Robert, now you'll stand here at this entrance. That way you'll have a clear view of anyone who comes and goes.
Right.
Tiffany, now you're going to wait in the alley. Not many people use the rear door, but if they do, you'll be able to see them.
Thank you, darling. I just love freezing.
Come on, Tiff. Lovely alley for you. Beautiful trash can to sit on, too.
Did you happen
Really
to see her in the crowd?
No, there's nobody in this crowd that even remotely resembles your Laura.
No such luck that she'd show up for the opening.
She'll show, babe.
You sound so sure.
I am sure.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you why.
Okay.
We need her to.
All right. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's go.
Oh, this looks absolutely wonderful. Lucky you. You got the best job of the whole lot. Now, look, what I want you to do is stay here, and whatever you do, do not move.
Don't worry, in another 5 minutes, I'll probably be frozen to this spot.
Well, think hot thoughts. That shouldn't be difficult for you. Now, look. If Laura sees Jackie or Luke inside, she may decide to come through this way or go down to the car park. If she goes out the front door, I will nab her.
Then what am I doing standing here freezing to death,
I
then?
just explained that to you. She may decide to come this way. Now, if she does, you're going to finish up face to face with her.
Well, Robert, what'll I do if I do? What am I supposed to do?
Hang on to her, scream blue bloody murder. Right?
Well, I do have a good blue-bloody murder
Yeah,
spread,
of
don't
course
I?
you do. Now, just hang on to her and keep on screaming, all right?
Okay.
Excellent. They've opened the store right on time. Are you ready?
Yeah, everything's ready. Darling, go plug it in right now. Now, David, ever so gently guide the tube into the lens. Easy. All right, lower it a little bit. That's it. Perfect. All right. Laura, you got it in? All right, come on over here.
The crowd's beginning to go into the store, including our 2 associates.
Oh, imagine a tiger with emerald eyes. I can't wait to see it.
You will before the day is over. Is the equipment up to speed?
Yeah, everything's ready. Darling, this is the moment we have been waiting for.
Waiting for a very long time.
General Hospital will continue in a moment.